Megan, I need to be honest with you. From now on, if you'd like to come over and visit, you need to let me know in advance. Preferably a day or so, but at the very least, you could give me a few hours notice. But at any rate, inviting yourself over suddenly like you did today needs to stop.
Wow, somebody's grumpy today. We're family, aren't we? It's not like I'm making an appointment to see a doctor or something. Like, seriously, who makes their family members make a reservation to come and visit them?
I do. It doesn't have anything to do with being family or not. It's just common decency. Not to mention, you're aware that I'm pregnant right now. My morning sickness has been absolutely terrible lately. When you came by the house, I was in bed, which was where I had been all morning. When I woke up, I was so dizzy and nauseous that I laid right back down. I didn't even have a chance to get dressed or clean the house. Everything was a mess.
What? So you didn't have your makeup on and your room was a little cluttered? That's no big deal.
To you, maybe, but it is a big deal to me. I'm telling you, Megan, I don't mind you coming over to visit. But the next time you want to come over, you must let me know before you come. If you don't, then I'm afraid I'm just not going to let you in.
What?
I don't want to have to be this strict with you, but this has happened too many times now. I don't have any other choice.
Just who do you think you are, anyway? You need a serious attitude adjustment. I went out of my way to come and visit you, and this is the thanks I get? I figured you were probably having a pretty hard time of things. This is your first pregnancy, and Keith has been out of town on business for the last few weeks. And he's not even going to be back until after your due date, right?
Well, yeah, but you mean you've been coming over because you were worried about me?
Yeah? What did I literally just say? Of course I was worried about you. You're welcome, by the way. I doubt that there are many people kind enough to go and visit their pregnant sister-in-law like I am.
Okay, well, I'm grateful that you would be so thoughtful of me. But my point stands, Megan. From now on, please call or text me ahead of time so I'll know that you're coming. It's not like I'm home all the time anyway. I've got doctor's appointments to go to, shopping to do. I'd hate for you to come all the way out here just for me to be out of the house.
I don't get it. What's the big deal about that? If you're not home, I'll just let myself in and chill until you get back. I'm not going to waste my phone's battery life texting you when I don't need to.
Are you really going to disregard everything I just said to you now?
Yep. So anyway, I'll see you again soon, Mary.
When will you see me again?
Whenever I damn well feel like it.
Don't worry, even though you're an ungrateful little brat, I'll still take good care of you just like I always have. That's what a big sister-in-law does. Megan, you came by my house again today, didn't you? I just got home and I noticed that some of the food in our refrigerator was missing.
Well, what was I supposed to do? You weren't there when I got to your house, and I wasn't going to wait outside on a day as hot as today. So I took the spare key I got from Keith and let myself in.
Wait a second, Keith gave you a spare key to our house?
I haven't heard anything about that. When did this happen? A little while before he went on his business trip.
Okay, well, I guess I'll have to talk to Keith about that. But what about the food? Did you take anything out of the fridge?
I figured that since I was never going to get as much as a simple thank you out of you, I might as well get some kind of reward for my kindness. So I started looking around for whatever looked good, and when I opened the fridge, wow, did I ever find it.
Yeah, you can say that again. You took the pack of A5 Wagyu beef that my parents sent me. I was planning on having that for dinner tonight.
Aw, what's the matter, Mary? Are you upset that I took your precious steaks? Well then, I guess you should have come home sooner.
Don't tell me you forgot the conversation that we just had a few weeks ago. I was very clear when I told you that you need to call me first before you come. Why won't you listen to me? And not only did you come over without permission, this time you even took food from my fridge? What is wrong with you?
Oh, right. One more thing. I'd really appreciate it if you could take care of the garbage I left behind. You know, the stuff that was sitting on your front porch. Don't tell me you missed it.
How could I miss it? I couldn't walk in my front door without moving it all out of the way.
My garbage day was today, and I completely forgot to put it down by the road.
And our garbage day was yesterday. They're not going to come by again for another week. What am I supposed to do with all this stuff until then?
I don't know. Put it in your dumpster? This much stuff won't fit in my dumpster. Okay, then buy another dumpster or something. I don't believe this. Believe it or not, it's your problem now. I'll see you again soon, Mary. Keith, we need to talk. I can't deal with this anymore. You need to do something about your sister right now.
How many times do I have to tell you, Mary? Do not text me while I'm at work. Whatever problem you're having right now, it can wait until after I clock out.
No, it can't. This is urgent. Why did you have to go and give Megan a spare key to our house? You should have talked to me about that first, because I would have said no.
First of all, I own the house. I can give a key to anyone I want. I don't need your permission. Second, what's wrong with Megan having a key? This way she can come over to help you out anytime you need her to.
Help me? She's not helping me do anything. She's causing me nothing but trouble. She's been coming over uninvited nearly every single day for the last few weeks without someone just texting me to let me know. I've lost track of how many times I've told her to stop, and she just won't listen. I'm at my wit's end over here. I know it's going to be an awkward conversation for you, but you need to talk to her. Tell her to stop coming to our house.
For the love of God, Mary, this is why you bothered me at work? Exactly what is wrong with my sister coming over to visit you?
Why doesn't anybody listen to me? It's not just that she's visiting. I want her to call before she comes. Is that so much to ask?
Are you really gonna force a family member to make an appointment before she comes to visit, like you're a doctor or something?
She used the exact same excuse. Family or not, she needs to call me first. Do you know what she did today? She came while I wasn't home and let herself in with the key you gave her. She even helped herself to the food in our fridge.
For real, why are you getting so upset about this? The pregnancy hormones must be getting to your brain or something. She's not doing anything wrong.
Yes, she is. There's a specific term for taking someone's things without permission, Keith. Theft. Not to mention trespassing.
Okay, you need to calm down right now. I do not like the way you're talking about my sister. She comes to visit you out of the kindness of her heart, and you're calling her a criminal?
If she had even a single ounce of kindness in her, wouldn't she be kind enough to call me first? I don't get why this is so hard for you to understand.
Oh, trust me, I understand everything. I understand that you just don't want anyone to know what a sloppy housekeeper you are. Don't blame my sister for your inability to keep the house presentable.
Excuse me? Just what is that supposed to mean?
I told you, Mary, I know everything. Megan told me that you've been doing nothing but laying around in bed all day. You aren't cleaning anything, you aren't doing the laundry, you're not washing the dishes, and you're using being pregnant as an excuse. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. If you can't even keep the house clean while pregnant, what makes you think you're going to be able to do it after the kid is born? So stop making excuses, get out of bed, and do your only job. At the very least, you should keep the house clean enough so that it's not a problem for Megan to come over whenever she wants.
You think I'm just slacking off or something? It's not like I want to be in bed all day. I have told you before how awful my morning sickness is. I'm doing the very best that I can right now, but without you here to help me, there are limits to what I'm able to do. It's honestly pretty hurtful that you would think I'm just being lazy.
The truth hurts, huh? Megan told me all about your stupid morning sickness, too. She said that morning sickness isn't even that bad. It's just an excuse that pregnant women use when they don't feel like doing the housework. I'll bet you thought you were gonna have a really easy time of things while I was away. You were planning on just sitting around eating ice cream and watching sappy romance movies, weren't you? Yeah, if I were you, I wouldn't want anyone coming over and seeing me like that either.
That's not true, and you know better than to talk to me like that. At least you should know better, anyway. I wish I weren't this sick all the time. I'd love nothing more than to be up and around getting things ready for once the baby is born. But even in my condition, I've been able to put most of the baby's room together, and I still manage to run the laundry once a week. So I don't really want to hear any complaints from you. You have never done one single thing to help me since I've been pregnant, even before you went on your business trip.
Uh-oh, looks like I struck a nerve. That one stung, huh? You should learn to control that temper of yours, Mary. Getting angry isn't good for the baby.
Why do you think I'm angry, Keith?
That's it, I'm done with this conversation. If this is the way you're gonna be, then fine. I'm gonna go and stay with my parents for a while.
You what?
If Megan walks in unannounced on me one more time, I think I'm going to have an aneurysm. But no matter how much I tell her or you about how much it's bothering me, neither of you understand. And now you're trying to tell me how bad my morning sickness is? Please. I'm going somewhere where I can relax and won't have to deal with you two. So tell Megan that there's no point in her coming by the house anymore because I won't be there.
Don't you dare go to your parents' house. I am your husband and I say you are staying home. You're just mad because your cover got blown. If you can't be lazy at home, you're gonna go be lazy somewhere else. Is that what this is? Is this what you're gonna do once the kid is born? Shove all the work onto me and your parents? Mary, I'm talking to you. Answer me. Mary!
Hey there, Mary. I wanted to let you know I just dropped off 5 peppy little kids off at your house. I need to ask you to look after them until tomorrow morning, okay?
What the 5 kids? But I thought you only had 1 kid.
Well, yeah, but it's not just him. I dropped 4 of his friends off with him. So yeah, we were planning on having a big sleepover tonight at my house, but I have the worst luck. Something really important just came up, and I need someone to take care of them for me. I knew that you have absolutely nothing else to do, so I thought you'd be the perfect woman for the job.
Even if I wanted to have all of those kids stay at my house tonight, which, believe me, I don't. Unfortunately for you, I can't. I'm just about to head out the door, actually.
What? Why?
Because I'm heading over to my parents' house, and just so you know, I'll be staying with them for the foreseeable future.
Aw, that's too bad. I guess you'll just have to call up your parents and tell them you're not coming after all. Besides, why are you even going there in the first place?
I have my reasons. But if you must know, the biggest one is that it's getting harder for me to get up and around with as big as my belly is getting. With Keith away on business, I would feel more comfortable having someone else nearby to help me out.
If you want help, I'm right here, aren't I? I'm all the help you could ever ask for.
Megan, I would never ask for your help, not in a million years.
Why not?
Again, I have my reasons.
Like what? Give me one. Be specific.
I don't need your help because I can always rely on my mom for assistance and advice.
But your mom is, 3 decades removed from giving birth? I bet she's forgotten all about it. I, on the other hand, have much more recent experience. So go ahead and tell your parents that you're staying here after all, okay? If there's anything you need, don't hesitate to ask me.
Okay, I guess you're not going to take the hint then. Fine, the reason I'm going to stay with my folks is you.
Me?
Yes, you. You've been barging into my home uninvited and unannounced at all hours of the day and night. You used the key my idiot husband gave you to let yourself in and help yourself to all of my food. And now you're trying to use me as an overnight babysitting service? I am sick and tired of you, Megan. That's why I'm leaving, to get as far away from you as I can.
I have been nothing but generous to you. I know you must be lonely with your husband away. I was just trying to keep you company. And how are you going to eat all that food by yourself? It would have spoiled and gone to waste if I didn't take some of it off your hands for you. As for the kids, this is an incredible opportunity for you. Not many people can get this kind of hands-on experience taking care of kids before having their own. If you could make it through tonight, there is nothing you can't handle.
That is the absolute worst series of excuses I have ever heard.
They're not excuses. I'm being for real. Trial builds character. I'm doing my best to help you become a better mom, so don't think for a second that I'm gonna let you run away and hide at your parents' house. You desperately need to be whipped into shape, and that's why I brought all these kids here. This is gonna be the best 24-hour training program you could ever hope for. Think about it. Cooking for 5 kids, giving them all baths, and putting them all to bed. Like it or not, you're doing this for me.
No, I think I'll pass.
You don't have a say in the matter. You are not going to your parents' house, and that is final.
Actually, I am, and I just locked the front door, so I suggest you come back and pick those kids up as soon as possible.
What?
They're all just sitting around on our front lawn, and today is another scorcher. You'd better get down here before they start to get dehydrated.
Wait, I don't believe this. Are you really intending to abandon all 5 of those kids on your front porch?
If I may be so bold, you were the one who abandoned them on my front porch, not me. I'll thank you to not blame me for your boneheaded decisions.
But that's not how this was supposed to work. I just asked you to take care of those kids for me. That means they're your responsibility. The ball's in your court now.
You did not ask me to take care of them. You dropped them off at my house and demanded I take care of them. I have no responsibility at all to look after them. You didn't pass the ball to me. You just set it down in the middle of the court. Now, if you'll excuse me, I am just about to get in the car.
You must be totally out of your mind. Don't you get what's going on right now? You have 5 kids at your house who need someone to take care of them. And that someone is you. How can you even think about driving off in this situation?
It's easy, really. All I have to do is think of how great it's going to be to finally get rid of you and your toxic insensitivity.
That's so exciting, it almost makes me completely forget that I've been sick to my stomach since this morning. Then, what about the kids? What are you going to do about them?
Nothing. The plan was originally for them to spend the night at your house, wasn't it? So just have the sleepover at your house. Problem solved.
But I told you, something really important came up, and the kids are at your house right now. They're on your property. That means they're your responsibility.
Wow, you sure are desperate to pass off responsibility on this, aren't you? Fine, I'll be the responsible party. Someone has to look after them.
So you've finally given up, huh? I knew you'd come around eventually. You can't say no to me. Okay, so take good care of them for me. I'll see you tomorrow.
Huh? No, I'm not going to take care of them. I'm going to report this to the police.
What? The police?
I'll tell them that some woman just abandoned 5 children on my property. I'm sure they'll be along soon enough to pick the kids up. Okay, so I'm getting in the car for real now. Bye, Megan.
You actually called the police? Like, you actually called the police? Do you have any idea how much trouble I'm in right now because of you?
Nope, and I don't care very much either. It's not my problem.
Oh, sure, maybe it's not your problem, but it's all your fault. The cops called all their parents to come and pick them up. So what do you think happened after that? Their moms are all calling me and screaming their heads off at me.
Yeah, I'd get mad too if I were in their situation. They thought they were dropping off their kids for a sleepover, but ended up having to go to the police station? That would totally ruin an evening.
It isn't my fault, though. You were the one who drove away with all those kids playing around in front of your house. But everyone is mad at me instead of you. The cops and the other moms are all treating me like I'm some kind of psycho. What's going on? Why is everyone so angry at me?
Wow, you still don't think you did anything wrong?
Plus, the other moms all took their money back. Oh, this sucks. I was on my way to go shopping with the money they gave me when the police called. I thought I was going to get some alone time for the first time in forever. You ruined my perfect plan, Mary.
Wait a minute, what did you just say about money? Oh no, don't tell me you took money from them for letting their kids stay at your house.
Of course I did. What's wrong with that? You think I'm going to let all their little rugrats stay at my house for free? I gotta feed them, don't I? I'm not paying to feed someone else's kids. So I had them all give me $50 each.
Ah, now I get it. So your plan was to pocket the money that their moms gave you and push the work of actually looking after them onto me.
And that's not even the worst part. The cops told my husband about this too. He called me and said he's leaving work early and that we need to have a talk. Now he's gonna give me some stupid lecture too, I just know it. What if he wants to divorce me over this, Mary? What am I supposed to do now?
I don't know. I don't think I'm the one to ask for marriage advice, seeing as though I'm getting divorced too.
Huh? You and Keith are getting divorced?
Duh. Did you think I was gonna stay with a man who won't even protect me from his obnoxious sister? I'd rather raise this baby alone than deal with your family. I'm out.
Mary! What's the meaning of this? You're divorcing me? What are you thinking?
Do I need to spell it out for you? I'm thinking that I want to get divorced.
But why now? This is way too sudden. The baby's gonna be born soon.
That's why I need to get this done as soon as possible. I can't even stand being married to you as things are, having to raise a child together with you. Yeah, that's not happening. I want to get divorced as soon as possible.
No.
I told you, didn't I? I told you that she was being unreasonable, but did you listen to me? No. Instead, you insulted me. You called me lazy and told me to clean the house for her.
Well?
Did you hear the voicemail I left you yesterday? Your sociopathic sister dumped 5 little kids on our lawn and told me to look after them. The police got involved in everything, but you didn't care in the least. Your only response was a text saying, quote, "Wow, that's crazy." Yeah, it is crazy. And I'd have to be crazy to stay married to a pathetic loser like you for one more second.
Wait, let's calm down, okay? Don't you think divorce is going a bit overboard? I had no idea things were this bad.
I told you things were this bad so many times. I told you that your sister was a psycho, and I told you that I was feeling sick every day.
Yeah, but it's just, I thought you were exaggerating about Megan coming over all the time. And she told me morning sickness wasn't that bad. And I figured she'd know, having had a kid of her own and all.
I am your wife, Keith. She is your sister. You would take the word of your sister over your own wife?
I mean...
I don't care what you mean. I want a divorce. Can I just point out that you have yet to say the words, "I'm sorry" to me? All you've done is make excuses.
I was going to apologize. I'll do it right now. I'm sorry, Mary. I should have been a better husband to you, and I'm gonna be better from now on. You'll see. So please don't divorce me. I've been looking forward to meeting our baby for so long.
Don't worry, you'll get to meet him during your regular visitations. But I'm not compromising on getting divorced. We are through. If you're worried about being lonely without me, though, don't be. Word on the street is that your sister is heading for divorce, too. I'm sure the two of you will be able to comfort each other during these trying times. Keith resisted the divorce at first. After a while, though, his parents got involved. They knew about everything that had happened, and they told him that the only way to make up for what he'd done to me was to divorce me on my own terms. Thanks to them, I got all the alimony and child support I asked for. As for Megan, she lost the trust of her entire group of friends over what she did. Not only that, but her husband found out that she had been leaving their son alone and going out shopping by herself while he wasn't home. So, like I said, they're in divorce proceedings right now as well. And from the sound of things, it's not looking good for her getting even shared custody. I know that it's usually best for kids to be in a home with both of their loving parents, but the past few weeks have made me realize that sometimes there are parents that kids are better off without.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
Hey, this is the cleaning lady's number, right? So I know you just clocked out and everything, but do you think you could come back to the office? My desk is a mess, and I need you to straighten it up for me.
I'm sorry, but I'm not sure who I'm speaking to. I believe you may have texted the wrong number.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? You can't remember your employer's phone number? Ugh, I know you're old, but are you going senile or something? This is a business, not an old folks' home. You should have all our phone numbers programmed into your phone in case we need you for something. If that's too much for you to handle, then it's time for you to retire.
What?
Good grief, am I talking to a brick wall here? This is why I hate working with old people, especially old women. Like, do you even remember the name of the company you work for? I am an employee of Midlane Technologies, the company paying you to clean our office.
Well, it's true that I do a bit of cleaning around the office at Midlane Technologies, but I'm afraid you're mistaken. You aren't my employer.
What do you think it means to be an employee, Granny? We give you money to do work for us. That makes us your employer. Sales associates like me sell things to make that money, which we then give to you. So the money the company gives to you was earned by us. That makes us your employer.
If you would give me a moment to explain, I can clear up your confusion.
I'm the one who's confused? I don't want to hear that from you. You're the one who's too senile to remember what her job is and who she works for. Ugh. This is why I hate the cleaning staff. It's all a bunch of low IQ rejects. Listen up. My desk is disorganized. I've got files strewn over the whole thing to the point that I don't even know what color the darn thing is. My obnoxious boss is being a jerk about that and is demanding that I clean it all up by tomorrow. But I want to go home right now. There are all sorts of things I'd rather do than clean up my desk. One of my favorite influencers is going to start up tonight's live stream any minute now. I can't miss it.
Is that what you're contacting me about? You want me to organize your desk for you? Actually, before you answer that question, the more pressing concern to me is how you got my phone number in the first place.
You're always wasting time chatting it up with the geezer who runs security, right? I figured he might know your number, and when I asked him about it, sure enough, he did. Then I asked him very nicely to give me your phone number. He said no. Next, I ordered him to give me your phone number, and he got the point.
Well, I see you could use a lesson or two in common courtesy.
So anyway, hurry back here and clean up my desk. This is an order from your employer.
I'm terribly sorry to say this, but I cannot comply with such an order.
What did you say?
The terms of my contract are very clear. All I'm responsible for cleaning are the bathroom, kitchen, and other common spaces. I have no obligation to clean any areas other than those which I have been assigned.
You think I care about your stupid contract? That slip of paper means nothing to me. I'm your employer, and as your employer, I order you to clean my desk. Are you going to disobey a direct order from your superior? That's flagrant insubordination. I could have you fired for that, you know.
You wouldn't.
I will, unless you haul it back here and straighten up my desk by the end of the day. If you even think about disobeying me, you can kiss your job goodbye, Granny.
Excuse me, Keith, do you have a moment? There's something I need to discuss with you regarding your company.
Oh yeah? That's unusual. You typically never bring up work stuff with me. What's up, Mom?
Are you familiar with the new employee who just joined the company a few weeks ago? Since you run the place, I presume you've read at least through her resume before any hiring decisions were made.
Yeah, definitely. I know all about her. I leave most of that stuff to the human resources team, but I am the company president, so the buck stops here. If I'm not mistaken, you're talking about that girl. What was her name? It's Laura, right?
Is she an acquaintance of yours?
It's a crazy coincidence, actually. Me and her were classmates back at university, though she was a grade behind me. We hadn't spoken to each other since graduation, but she called me out of the blue about a month ago. She was a total wreck. Apparently, the last company she worked for went under, leaving her without a job. So we got to talking, and I ended up bringing her on to the sales team at my company.
Ah, I see. I wasn't aware of the background behind getting her hired.
What can I say? I see a pretty girl crying, and I can't help but do what I can to make them smile again. Aren't I pathetic? But it just so happened that we were short one member on the sales team, so it was great timing. The girl she's replacing went on maternity leave, so I hired her to fill that gap.
Goodness, that is good timing.
And the best part, she's actually a really talented saleswoman. I guess before the company went under, she was the top performing member on their sales staff. So it seems that my weakness for women actually turned out to the company's benefit this time around.
That's interesting. So she really is a talented saleswoman? I wouldn't have thought that based on how filthy her desk is.
Huh? Did something happen between you and Laura? You seem like you're not too happy to have her around.
She just texted me a while ago while I was on my way out of the office. She ordered me to return to the office and straighten up her desk for her. She claimed it was a direct order from my employer. I just got done doing that for her a moment ago and thought I'd message you to ask about her.
Are you serious?
It seems that while her performance may be top-notch, her personality is a bit rough around the edges. For example, she referred to me as the cleaning lady and had quite the haughty attitude when she was speaking to me. Toward the end, she threatened to have me fired if I disobeyed her orders. It was all so odd. I thought there must be some kind of mistake. I didn't think you would ever hire a person such as that.
Wow! I had no idea that's the kind of person Laura is. She never acts that way around me. She's always seemed like a perfectly sweet young woman. I'm sorry you had to get caught up in my mistake like this, Mom.
Don't feel bad. I don't hold you responsible for this at all. It's just that as the company's president, I thought you had a right to know what sort of people are representing your company. With a pompous attitude like that, there's no telling what sort of trouble she might cause for you.
Thanks for letting me know, Mom. I think the best thing to do for now is to just keep a close eye on her for a while. You don't need to do anything she says, Mom. If she threatens you, you can just ignore it. Feel free to name drop me, too, if you want. Anytime she causes you trouble, tell her I need to speak to her in my office.
Thank you, dear. I'll do just that. Hey, what gives, Granny? What are you doing here at the wedding today? You're just the office cleaning lady. This is no place for the likes of you. Now get out of here before anyone notices you're here. You've got some nerve, Laura. All I was doing was sitting in my seat, waiting for the wedding to start, and you came along, grabbed my arm, and threw me out of the cathedral. And why won't the door open? Did you lock it? Unlock it and let me in this instant. Not a chance. I already told you this is no place for a filthy little cleaning lady like you. How dare you speak to me in that manner? Oh my God, how oblivious can you be? Don't you have any idea what you're trying to do? Today is the company president's wedding. That doesn't mean just anyone can come, though. Only people who were invited. He didn't even invite half the people on the sales staff. What makes you think it's okay for the cleaning lady to come? I could ask you the same question, Laura. What makes you think you have the right to be here? You only joined the company earlier in the year. Why would you come to such an exclusive event? It just so happens that I have a very special relationship with the president. What do you mean? We met back in college. He was a year ahead of me, but I still had a bunch of classes with him. So I've known him since before he even became the president here. There are thousands of students at that university. I don't see how being at the same college makes your relationship special. About that. That's not the only thing that makes our relationship special. I'm not just a special person to the president. I'm a very special woman to him, too. Which means... The truth is that he's always had a thing for me, ever since we were in our school days. He treated me way differently than all the other girls. He would invite me to sit next to him in the cafeteria, invite me out to parties. And I could just tell by the way he looked at me that he felt very strongly about me. Do you get it now, or do I have to spell it out for you? Are you saying you think he's in love with you? Don't be silly. I don't think he loves me. I know he loves me. I told him I was having trouble finding a job, and he dropped everything to get me hired into his company. Would he do that if I were just like any other woman to him? Obviously not. Laura, dear, I think you should take a moment and come back to reality. Have you forgotten what sort of event this is? It's his wedding. He's marrying someone today, and she is not you. If you were the one he loved, why wouldn't he be marrying you today instead? You really don't get it, do you? This wedding is just a formality. It's all a show. A show? You might be too dense to see what's going on, but I understand everything perfectly. He's only marrying this woman for the benefit of his company. After all, he's the company president. He has to keep up a particular image. So he found this woman who has some sort of strategic importance to further the company's interests. That's all. I'm the one he really wants, but he's so devoted to his work that he's going through with this charade. Isn't that admirable of him? Laura, listen to yourself. Do you really believe that's true? Well, duh, it's the truth. I know it has to be hard for him to make a false vow in front of all these people today, so I came to comfort him through all that. When he sees me out in the crowd, we'll share a knowing glance, and that will give him all the courage he needs. I knew he'd need me here, so I begged and pleaded with him to invite me today.
That's why he invited you? Because you begged him to?
He didn't put up much of a fight. In that moment, it became clearer than ever how he felt about me.
Oh my.
And in spite of all that, you, a lowly, filthy, pathetic old cleaning lady, are gonna come and crash the party? How could you do something so cruel to him? He is suffering enough already. This is an important day for Keith and I to deepen the bonds of love between us, and I won't have you ruining the moment. Get out of here now and don't come back. Why don't you go and make yourself useful by cleaning the office bathroom or something?
I think you'll come to regret doing this to me very, very soon, Laura.
What? As if. Why would I ever regret sending a dirty old cleaning lady packing?
I was hoping I wouldn't have to do this, but you leave me no choice. I'm going to have to tell my son Keith about this.
Huh? Keith? What Keith are we talking about here? Not my Keith, right?
He may be your Keith to you, but he was never yours and he will never be yours. He is my son, your employer, and the man getting married to the love of his life today. And right now, I'm going to contact him and tell him one of his employees just threw his mother out of the chapel.
What? Wait, hold on just 1 second. You're Keith's mom? The Keith who I went to school with, the company president?
Indeed I am. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Keith's mother, Miranda. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
What's going on? This doesn't make any sense. I mean, you're just the cleaning lady, aren't you? You're always wearing that cleaning lady uniform when you're around the office. You definitely looked the part.
I'm sorry, is there a rule against a woman my age having a part-time job?
I mean, no, but if you're really his mom, then why are you working part-time at his company?
My Keith is such a generous and loving boy who cares for his mother dearly. Ever since my husband passed away, he's been sending me money each month to help support me. But I always felt terrible accepting it. It was far too much. So I spoke to him about it one day, and we decided that rather than him simply giving me the money, he would instead hire me just like any other staff member.
So that's why you clean the office?
It makes it far easier for me to accept money from him, knowing that I've earned it through my own hard work. Although, to be honest, I feel like he's paying me far above market wages for my position.
So it's true. You really are his mom. All this time, I thought you were just some cleaning lady. That's why I figured I could get away with ordering you around like that.
Ah, yes, like the time about 6 months ago when you called me back to the office to straighten up your desk for you. That came as quite a shock to me. It's been many years since I started cleaning here, but no one has ever done anything like that to me.
Hey, about that.
Sorry, Laura, I just got a text from Keith. He's telling me I can come in through the east gate. Well, thank goodness. For a moment, I thought this silliness was going to keep me from seeing my son on his big day.
So, I had no idea that you were his mom. If I did, then, geez, I never would have done half of the stuff I did to you. So, I'm sorry. I'm really, really, really sorry for everything.
I'm sure you are, dear. You have quite a lot to be sorry about. And that was before you blurted out that nonsense about thinking my son was in love with you. I've been at an utter loss for words for the last several minutes.
No, you don't understand. I'm being serious about that. He really does love me.
Oh, Laura.
So don't worry about that. I've known Keith forever. I can read him like a book. I also don't have any delusions about being Keith's number one girl. I am totally fine with being his number two girl as long as I can call myself Keith's girl. Nothing else matters to me.
And what makes you think you can call yourself my girl, Laura? I already have one girl. I have no need for a second one.
Huh?
My mom texted me saying she got thrown out of the chapel, so I hurried over to see if she was okay. Just what in the world do you think you're doing? Why did you throw my mom out of the chapel, Laura? And what's this ridiculous nonsense about me secretly being in love with you or whatever?
But Keith, it's not ridiculous or nonsense. It's the truth. I know that you're in love with me. You don't have to hide it. I understand exactly what's going on today. You're not marrying that woman for love. It's all business.
What is wrong with you? Of course I'm in love with her.
What?
We've known each other since we were kids. We started dating way back in high school. We used to play on the playground together back when we were in elementary school. Then when we got into middle school, I started to, notice her. But she was too close of a friend. I could never tell her how I felt. Once we were in high school, other boys started asking her out, and that was too much for me to take. I went right up to her and told her how I felt about her.
Keith, no! Don't talk like that. You don't mean it. I'm the one you've loved all along. I'm the one you've been hiding your feelings about.
You're wrong, Laura. The only woman I love, the only woman I've ever loved is the woman I'm marrying today. How could I ever love you when I have her by my side?
But you've been so kind to me, way kinder than you were to all the other girls. You used to invite me to parties all the time.
And what of it? I invited tons of people to parties. What good is a party without plenty of people there to enjoy it? And you're just wrong about me giving you special treatment. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Then what about the way you hired me into your company? The only way that makes sense is if you really are in love with me.
Wrong again. I've hired multiple old classmates into my company just like I did for you.
No.
A lot of them had similar stories to you about suddenly finding themselves without work through no fault of their own. Others had family who needed support and were looking for a job with higher income potential. I always try my best to help out anyone who comes to me for help. As long as both of our needs align, why not bring them on? It's a mutually beneficial arrangement. I wasn't giving you special treatment at all.
That can't be.
It's the way it is, so you'll just have to accept it and move on. You aren't anything special to me, Laura. I want you to leave my wedding right now. I won't let you do any more damage than you already have today.
Keith, you're kicking me out?
After you physically threw my mom out of the chapel? Of course I am. And another thing, I'm putting you on unpaid suspension as of today. Don't bother coming to the office again until I call for you.
Suspension?
For now, I'll talk to HR before I make any long-term decisions. But frankly, having someone like you around the office is just too creepy for me to handle right now. You'll receive word of our final decision within the week. Don't bother coming in to pick up your things. I'll have them sent to you. Now, as I was saying, I want you out of here before the wedding starts, so leave.
Keith, wait, don't do this. Don't kick me out. Don't send me away. Let me celebrate your wedding with you.
You can celebrate my wedding all you want from your own home. So leave now, or I'll call the police.
This isn't fair. Why am I getting fired? You did this, didn't you? What did you say to Keith? Did you tell him to fire me? Tell me the truth.
Laura, oh, you poor miserable thing.
There is no way my Keith would ever fire me unless you told him to. Sure, maybe I was a little bit out of line when I was sure that Keith loved me and wanted to marry me, but that's besides the point. Nothing changes the fact that he and I have a special relationship. He hired me, didn't he? He rushed to help me in my time of need. That means he has to have at least some kind of feelings for me.
Actually, I agree with you there. I'm sure he has some kind of feelings for you. As for what those feelings are, I believe we may disagree.
Right? So it's totally out of the ordinary for him to do something like firing me. That's why I know for a fact that you're behind this. So how did you do it? What did you say to him that got him to fire me? Did you threaten to write him out of your will? To cut off contact? Tell me.
I told you before, Laura, as far as Keith's company is concerned, all I am is one of its many employees, nothing more. If the decision was made to fire you, then it must have been Keith's decision. Even setting aside the recent events for a moment, you can't honestly expect them to keep you on after discovering you falsified your work history.
What? What do you mean falsified?
I think you know, dear. You sold yourself as the top saleswoman in the company you used to work at before it went bankrupt. But that wasn't true at all, was it? No, you were, in fact, the worst performing person on the entire sales team. Maybe I'm being too hard on you, considering you convinced yourself Keith was in love with you. Perhaps you genuinely do believe you were number one.
Hey, how did you guys find out about that? That company went bankrupt. Those records shouldn't exist anymore. I mean, the entire company got chopped up into pieces and sold off to various other companies. Where did you get my performance results from?
I have to hand it to my Keith. He's always been a persistent boy. Once he sets his mind on figuring something out, he practically refuses to sleep until he does. Like you said, your company's assets were sold off to various other firms. It took quite a bit of digging, but Keith managed to identify the one that purchased your company's former headquarters. He talked to them and asked if they had thrown away your old company's files. They told him no, everything was just the way it was when they purchased the building.
Oh no!
He walked right into your old office, opened the file cabinets, pulled out your file, and that was that. You should know, however, that my son wasn't planning to fire you at first. He felt awful about kicking you back out onto the curb after coming to him for help. But once he found out that you were prepared to lie to his face after he extended such kindness to you, all bets were off. He can't continue to work with someone who he can't trust.
Okay, I fudged the numbers a little bit. So what?
This is a business, Laura, not a charity, and he's the president. If any harm were to come to the company because of your lies, he would be the one to take responsibility for it. So you see, he had no choice but to fire you.
All I wanted was for Keith to think I was special. I wanted him to admire me. That's not such a bad thing to do, right? I never wanted to deceive him. I love him.
You don't lie to the people you love, Laura. Regardless of the circumstances, a lie is a lie. And don't pretend that your performance was the only lie you told him. You always acted like a sweet, innocent little angel whenever Keith was around. But as soon as he left the room, you started using your position in the company to threaten me into doing your work for you. This was never going to end any other way but you being terminated.
Please, tell Keith I love him. Tell him I'm sorry. Ask him to forgive me.
It wouldn't do a bit of good at this point, dear. It's time for you to move on. If I may offer you a piece of motherly advice, the next time your desk needs to be straightened up, do it yourself. As Keith said at the wedding, he packaged up all the personal items in Laura's desk and sent them to her. Out of a job, Laura began a desperate search for a new one. However, any time she gets asked for her reason for leaving her previous place of employment, she gives the same explanation, which takes liberties with the truth. Apparently, she's telling people that the company president fell in love with her and started stalking her, so she feared for her life and quit. Now, had she gone to another town, she might have gotten away with those lies, but my son has many connections in the local business world. Once he heard how despicably she was defaming him, he immediately called his lawyer and launched a lawsuit against her for slander. Now, not only is she unable to find a job anywhere within a 50-mile radius, she also owes my son a remarkably large amount in damages awarded to him at the trial. She tried to get out of paying it the same way she got him to hire her, by breaking down in front of him and crying her eyes out. This time, however, it seems my son has learned a lesson about dealing with a woman like Laura. Her crocodile tears won't be enough to rescue her from the mess she made for herself this time.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.